Hey everyone, what a great day. Today is Tuesday, December 24th, 2024, Christmas Eve. Hope everyone's having a Merry Christmas. What a great day. You know, here's a chart of Bitcoin. Going to go over it. Bitcoin has a breakout this morning. It looks like just better than about 94,400. So it pumps about 300-400 points, but more on that today. Not reporting on any geopolitical news today. We're just going to focus on socioeconomic and give everyone, a happy, Merry Christmas type of thing. So let's check this out. It's John. I'm on my news desk and prop trading desk. I'll try to speak up a little better so the audio. I'm working on audio for the new year. So again, let's look at the pivot points. I'll bring this in on the chart on Bitcoin. I was able to purchase the dippy dip yesterday on Bitcoin down here in the support zones. So I did two trades. These reset yesterday. These magic numbers or secret numbers reset every day on Bitcoin. So right now Bitcoin is changing wallets here. It's up about 1,000 points. So I want to go over this yesterday. So here is the chart, right? We've looked at this chart, very interesting. Down here is the demand zone. I have pivot points here and here that got filled. These price ranges on this dip down here and here, and then it gave me a buy signal. I added to the position and it pivoted and pumped up. So from the demand zone again, from 92,000, about 600 up to the pinnacle in the supply zone was 92,250. So that's like 2,000-3,000 point price swing, and now it's given a buy signal here. It's a little late in the cycle. I'd like to purchase down here deep in the demand zone, less than the meridian of the demand zone, and then add to a winning position, and then it pumps. So this trade looks good, but if I had to take a trade, I would purchase it greater than this price here for a breakout. So I wait for the dippy dip, gave a signal here, to short the market, long here, short here. So that was a chop trade. So now Bitcoin's just basically in a trading range. So we need something to happen. Either the market pulls back to the demand zones, which is here. I'll show you this, at the pivot points. So here's the pivot point. Bitcoin is less than the pivot point. So the pivot point number today, is 95,331 spot 16. So now it's less than such. So that means that market conditions are bearish for today. So I have limit GTC orders to purchase Bitcoin here at the first pivot at 91,087, at 88,235, and at 83,991. So yesterday, like I said, I was able to buy the dip, and then it pumped about 3,000 points from my dip purchase. So that's okay, I'll take it. I took a nice trade out of it. And this trade setup transpires every day in the marketplace. What is it, Ecclesiastes? There's nothing new under the sun, or Mark Twain, history repeats itself. So I just wait for my trade setup and, below less than the demand zone at the pivot points, and then the pump to the supply zone. And this, all I'm really interested in is this place here, this meridian between here in the demand zone and the meridian of the supply zone. I want to purchase less than the demand zone here and then sell some as soon as it goes above the supply zone. You notice it pinnacles and then it drops in price. So Jesse Livermore said it best. He's like, I don't, try to time the market so much, or he didn't look at charts. He just looked at the pivot points. So again, these are the magic secret numbers for today. Just wanted to go over this chart yesterday. Again, had a nice pivot point trade yesterday. It was about 3,000 points. So nice trade there. So let's go over, again, we'll look at the chart. I'm flicking back and forth here. I'm working on my audio for the new year to get a nice microphone. So let's look at the geopolitical news. Stock index futures gain in thin pre-Christmas trade. All right, so we got news on there. So people are still talking about AI stocks and everything. FAA halts American airline flights. You know, this is a busy time of year for travel. Stock market, worldly stocks mostly advance and quiet. Christmas Eve trading. Biden will decide on U.S. steel acquisition after influential panel fails to reach consensus. You know, unreal. So here, let's take a look at a major market overview real quick. I'll dial this up. S&P futures, you know, up 8 points. Nasdaq E-minis up 54 points. The Dow's flat, off about 22 points. The VIX at 16 spot 69. The Dixie US dollar at 107.895. The 10-year note, you know, the 10-year, the yield at 108-135. Crude oil flat, you know, at 69 spot 79. Gold 26.26, off $1 flat. Silver's hanging in there at $30 an ounce. So this is what we have. Major stock leaders. We have, again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Informational purposes only. Please give my videos a like and a share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Tesla, okay, up 2%. Nvidia's active. Apple Computer, Broadcom, my own stock in all these shares. Microsoft, Palantir's active. Amazon, Meta, and Advanced Micro Devices. So I own stock shares in every one of the most active stock shares on being reported here on bar chart. So let's close this out for a section. Here again, back to the bar chart, or the Bitcoin live education chart here. And so it's given a buy signal. Looks like it's going to pump here. The buy signal came in on the 5-minute chart about 94,250. Pardon me. So let's see what we got here. Let's look at Bitcoin again. Here's the pump in Bitcoin. Had resistance here at 94,497. Another resistance here, and then we have the breakout and the pump to, you know, 95,117 on the dip. On this chart, the low was at 93,708. Pardon me. I have to clear my throat. So we got a nice pump in Bitcoin. Let's see if we get a breakout of it. So it's interesting. Let's see what's being reported on Yahoo Finance. Nvidia dominated 2024 big time. Next year, plenty of challenges. Stock futures edge higher. You know, holiday season. MicroStrategy mania exposes rare fault line in ETF industry. So let's scroll up here. American Airlines again. You know, halts travel. Consumer Protection Agency closes the Biden era. Okay, taking big swings. Biden to decide on U.S. steel again. U.S. regains crypto market on Trump agenda. You know, Bitcoin's gone from being described as a big scam to now described potentially as a national treasury asset. China pledges to increase spending in 2025 to counter Trump tariffs. Bond issuance pushes overall market to 50 billion. Starbucks, people are striking at Starbucks. 3,000 stores on Christmas Eve. So I just make my own coffee, thanks. Oil gains in pre-holiday trading with focus on China. You know, U.S. futures flat, muted, tech fueled rally. Turkey plans to start maritime agreement negotiations with Syria. Colombia is at risk of repeating Brazil's costly fiscal mistakes. You know, Brazil stock market cratered, looks cheap there on the Brazilian real or real. So these are the news stories. Gold steadies as traders focus on uncertain 2025. This is my morning routine. You know, I look at the news stories on geopolitical and socioeconomic. I kind of just talk to the computer in a sense as I read the news stories and give my perspective. Top stocks here, Rigetti Computing was active. Honda Motor Company was active with merger news. Now I own stock shares in TeraWulf, MicroStrategy, 𝐂𝐏𝐿, CleanSpark, and these stocks were all, many of them were off 25-30% in the last week. So I'm a buyer of such. I owned MicroStrategy. You know, TeraWulf shares have been tanking, so I maintain a 7-to-1 ratio on a synthetic Bitcoin mining rig. So it's 7 units of Bitcoin. So I dollar cost average Bitcoin every day, and then I dollar cost average the 2 blockchain ETFs, 𝐵KCH and Block, BLOK, own stocks like MicroStrategy and etc. So, I've had a nice trade this year in blockchain assets. So it's nice to have a nice squaring off position here. People are squaring off for tax reasons, I guess, tax selling in the TeraWulf and MicroStrategy and 𝐂𝐏𝐿 and CleanSpark. Then they'll recreate their portfolios on the first of the year. So I'm a buyer of these shares in the blockchain ETFs. So that's the news being reported on Yahoo Finance. So again, look, here's the Bitcoin pump. It looks like it wants to go higher for the day, above 95,000. And then again, here's the resistance. The pivot point is 95,331.16. So this is, I'm a seller. I'm a buyer here, hopefully, all the time at the third support, and then a seller at, the third level of resistance. I don't go all in and all out, but this is classic momentum swing. And the pivot point is like the 50-yard line. So right now, the blue team is winning for now until the pivot point is parsed, and then it goes to the red team. So it's like a gridiron for football. So right now, the blue team is winning. I got limit orders to purchase here, here, and here, and I use a martingale system or negative progression. So I increase my wagering, if you would, the lower the price goes. Conversely, I'm a seller here, here, and here. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's informational purposes only. I'm an entertainer. So I bought the dip yesterday, so let's see if we get a pump greater than the pivot point, and I can begin scaling out of some Bitcoin at these different pivot point resistance levels. So that's all I really have for today, everyone. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas and everything. And so let's take a look. Bitcoin pumping, new high, above 95,200 priced soon enough. And then the buy signal comes in here. So let's see if we get a breakout greater than 95,250. So again, I bought the dippy dip in the demand zone. So Livermore said it best: whenever I had the patience to wait for the pivot points, I always made money in my speculations. So, here's a nice trade at the demand zone that I did yesterday, about down here at the pivot points, and then it pivots and goes back up again into the supply zone. If you notice right now, Bitcoin is at the meridian of the supply zone here. So I could sell some that I own. My average cost basis now in Bitcoin is just over 64,000. So it's a lot of points. Like I could take 30,000 points of profit right here in the supply zone, but it keeps Momo swing. So, once it goes into the supply zone here, this is typically where you'll get a TP or take profit. And so that's a nice trade. We'll see if we get a breakout. I have my pivot points down here again, so I gotta wait for the dippy dip like I did here, and then it pivots and goes into the supply zone. Only interested here on the meridian of the demand zone and the meridian of the supply zone. So the market is just barely touching now the supply zone. It's like the 50-yard line or the meridian. So right there is where I would be a seller of assets that I purchased here on the dippy dip. So again, I don't go all in and all out, but this is just classic momentum swing. And then here we are now. This time, look, it's pumping, going to the meridian again. So it just pivots. It pivots down here. This is all the stop orders being sold, and this is the area where all the margin calls transpire, and then the market pivots and goes higher. Pardon me. So 95,000 trade, greater than a nice breakout. So that's really what I have. Exciting times here, on Bitcoin, buying the dip on all the blockchain ETFs that are off. Many of the shares like TeraWulf off 30%. and then buying the dip on Bitcoin at the demand zones and on the pivot points. There it goes above the supply zone. So I'll put links for all this chart here. This is on Forex Education Live. They do great work. And so this chart updates dynamically online. And so great people too. So check it out. Are we going to get a TP here, a take profit soon enough? So it could, it gives you a buy signal. So let's see if we get, time to take some profits there in the supply zone. It's a nice trade anyway. So look, it told you to purchase here, take some profit here. It says take profit, tells you to short the market or be out of the market, gets into a trading range, and now the buy signal here. Again, I like to wait for the pivot points less than the demand zone meridian. So that's just classic momentum swing, and you're seeing this update dynamically live. There it goes, look, it's pumping, going nice. There it goes again. Bitcoin's pumping into the meridian of the supply zone. So that's what I have for today, everyone. It's John. I'm on my news desk and prop trading desk. Have a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and have an awesome, wonderful, great day. Thanks, everyone.